Hey guys, Dr. Brown here, and tonight we're working a trig problem, and this actually came out of an 8th grade book. Bear with me, or listen to the problem. Whatever your educational level is, pause the video, go work it, come back, we'll be here, and then we'll go through it together. They're telling us that triangle ABC is an acute triangle with BD perpendicular to AC. They list side AC as length X. Side AB is listed as X minus 1. The other side is X plus 1. Okay, so what does it mean by an acute triangle? If I have a triangle ABC with side A, side B, side C, C squared, if it equals the sum of the squares of the other two sides, it's a right triangle. If I have this triangle where C squared, the long side, is greater than the sum of the squares of the other two sides, it's an obtuse triangle. In our case, we have the long side squared is less than the sum of the other two sides, so it's an acute triangle which was given to us. Okay, so that's some definitions there. So we're working with this guy here. Now we could solve this without doing what I'm about to show you, but for kicks and giggles, let's take this triangle. What's the long side? We have X, X minus 1, X plus 1. So X plus 1 would be the long side. X plus 1 squared is less than the sum of the squares of the other two sides. Okay, so let's FOIL this. We have X plus 1, I'll go ahead and write it out, X plus 1. And that's less than X squared plus X minus 1 times X minus 1. Okay, let's FOIL that. X times X is X squared plus X, that's plus 2X. Positive 1 times positive 1 is 1. Well, that's less than X squared plus X squared minus X, that's minus 2X. Negative 1 times negative 1 is positive 1. So we have a 2x squared minus 2x plus 1. And on this side we have x squared plus 2x plus 1. Now you'll notice I left a space because I'm going to subtract all of this from both sides. Minus x squared minus 2x minus 1. So I've just subtracted everything here. Let me do the same on the other side. Minus x squared minus 2x minus 1. Alright, so all of this cancels, so this becomes 0. 2x squared minus x squared gives me x squared. Minus 2x is minus 4x. Positive 1 minus 1, that goes away. So 0 is less than x times x minus 4. That's x squared minus 4x. Divide both sides by x. Okay, 0 over x is still 0. 0 is less than x minus 4. So if I add 4 to both sides, so 4 is less than x, or x is greater than 4. Now you may be thinking, well, big wooey, that doesn't solve my problem. And you're right. That doesn't give me CD minus DA, but it gives me a bound on what x can be. So let's get on with it and solve the problem that was given to us. You'll notice since BD is perpendicular to AC, I have two right triangles back to back. And what did we learn earlier? That means the long side squared is equal to the sum of the squares of the other two sides. So I could say x minus 1 squared equals, since it's a right triangle, it equals BD squared plus, this side squared plus DA squared. I would list this AD, but it was given to me in the problem as DA, so I left it that way. All right, that's this triangle. What about the other triangle? I have x plus 1 squared equals BD squared plus CD squared. Now you'll notice I have a BD in both equations. I have an opportunity here to say, wow, BD equals something. So let me subtract DA from both sides. X minus 1 squared minus DA squared. If I subtract DA squared out of that, it goes away. That equals BD squared. Let me do the same over here. I have x plus 1 squared minus CD squared. And what does that equal? BD squared. Well, if this equals BD squared and this equals BD squared, guess what? All of this equals all of that. So let me FOIL this. That's x squared minus 2x plus 1 minus DA squared equals x squared plus 2x plus 1, oh, we FOILed this earlier, minus CD squared. Okay, I have a DA and I have a CD. But notice x equals CD plus DA. X equals, well, let me put that here. X equals CD plus DA. So x minus DA equals CD. I can take this and sub it in for CD. Hey, now I would have a DA in both sides. So x squared plus 2x plus 1 minus what? X minus DA squared. And that equals x squared minus 2x plus 1 minus DA squared. Now let's FOIL this guy here. Well, as a matter of fact, we can clean up some things. If I subtract x squared from both sides, that cancels. If I subtract 2x or add 2x, let me do that. If I add 2x here and I add 2x here, that gives me 4x. If I subtract 1 from both sides, those cancel. So 4x minus x minus DA squared. So that's x squared minus 2DAX plus DA squared. Okay? Now, you'll notice it's minus x squared plus, I'm distributing this negative to the inside. Negative times negative is a positive, 2DAX. Negative times positive is minus DA squared. That equals, see, we added that 2x, so I've got minus DA squared here. Okay, if I add DA squared to both sides, Those cancel. So, wow, what we got here? 0 equals 4x minus x squared plus 2dax. Let me add x squared and subtract 4x. So that's add x squared minus 4x. So that would cancel, add x squared and subtract 4x. Those cancel. And I'm left with 2dax equals x times x minus 4. So if I divide x on both sides, I can get rid of that. So x minus 4 equals 2dA. Divide both sides by 2. dA equals x minus 4 over 2. Okay. dA equals x minus 4 over 2. So x minus 4 over 2 equals CD. I need a common denominator, so that's over 1, so I'll multiply this by 2 over 2. It's 2x, distribute this, minus x plus 4 all over 2 equals CD. So 2x minus x is x, so x plus 4 over 2 equals CD. Now x, what do we have? Let me clean this up. So dA so CD minus dA, that's what we're asked to find. CD is x plus 4 over 2. And that's minus dA, which dA is x minus 4 over 2. Now distribute this negative to the inside. Everything's over 2. X minus x, well, x plus 4, let's put that, minus x, negative, negative, that's positive, plus 4. So x minus x, those cancel. 4 plus 4 is 8. So 8 over 2 equals 4. So CD minus dA equals 4. For any x. Well, any x greater than 4. That's why we worked this out to begin with. Now you'll notice if I have x is 2, 2 minus 4 is a negative 2, so I can't have a negative side. There's not a negative length. So that's why it has to be greater than 4, and that's why we worked that out to start with. You still could have developed that from here, but it was good for us to work through that. Okay, so if x is 10, 10 plus 4 is 14. 14 divided by 2 is 7. Okay, 10 minus 4 is 6. 6 divided by 4 is 3. 7 minus 3 is 4. You could work that for any x greater than 4, and you'll get CD minus DA is always 4. Cool problem. I don't remember working problems like that when I was in the 8th grade. So kudos to the kids now. Okay? Sorry for the messy board. That was a little bit crazy there. Okay, why are we doing this? Together we're trying to build a better tomorrow and do that through math. Keep studying, and we'll talk to you next time. Thanks.